Who are you? That is one of the most powerful questions that you can ask yourself. And especially when we're thinking about purpose, answering the question of who we are is vitally important because how we choose to answer this question sets in motion how we end up behaving, the habits we create, the life that we're designing. And it starts with our identity. I can remember Tony Robbins saying at one of his famous quotes, at one of the many Tony Robbins things that I've been at, he said that the one of the greatest human needs that we all have is to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. So if you think about who you are, if you think about how you would describe yourself, most of us are operating out of a past identity, who we've known ourselves to be. And that can oftentimes include a lot of limitations. And we think about who we're not. Like, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a great salesperson. I am not great with people. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. And we tend to think of ourselves compartmentalized, like, okay, here are the things that I'm good at. Here are the things that I'm not great at. And it's all sort of taken from the proof of our past. So every time we wake up in the morning, we are experiencing, in essence, an old version of ourselves. We're looking back over who was I yesterday? Who was I the day before? I think the saying is that there's like however many thoughts that we have in a day, 95% of those thoughts are thoughts that we had yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. Even our emotional experience is the same. We have a type of set emotions that we live out and experience every day, whether that's stress or overwhelm, exhaustion, depletion, guilt, anxiety, depression. And when we're on autopilot and we're not really pausing to ask ourselves, who am I really? We end up letting our past version of ourselves, the person we've been over and over again for years and years and years, with the same emotions that we've been feeling for years and years and years, dictate who we show up as right now in the present. However, if we are going to begin to step into our purpose, that outdated identity is not going to serve us to help us get where we want to go. So when we're thinking about creating a new life, when we're thinking about changing something that we want in our life, maybe that is a new career, maybe that is better health, maybe that is a better relationship, we cannot reference our past to create our future. We cannot be in the purpose of our past to create our purpose in the future. We have to reference our future identity, who we want to be that we've never been before, stepping into a purpose that we've maybe never stepped into before, in order to allow that to shift our present. So, in order to create a new way forward, in order to step into our purpose more fully, we have to begin to shift our identity. Who is the future you? Who is the future you that is healthier, that is wiser, that is more balanced, that is free of emotional imbalance, free of pain, free of toxic relationships, free of lack, free of, living paycheck to paycheck? If we keep replaying that story of who we are, I'm somebody who struggles with money, I'm somebody who's not good at intimacy, we're going to get more of the same. Because when we reference our past, we end up repeating and repeating and repeating without being conscious of, wait a second, is this identity who I actually want to be, or is it just a default identity? And that's why that quote from Tony Robbins is the greatest human need we have as humans is to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. When we think about how we're choosing to define ourselves becomes really, really important. So I want to encourage you, this is kind of like a weird concept, to go ahead of yourself. Think about who you want to be 2 years from now, 5 years from now. How is that version of yourself different than the version right now? What emotions is that version of yourself feeling and experiencing? Is that version feeling more peace, more joy, more alignment, more security, more abundance? And in order to get to that future self, referencing it first, seeing it first, creating a new identity first, We have to know what it is with clarity. And then right here in the present moment, begin pretending, practicing, acting as if we are that future self. So I can close my eyes and I can think, okay, Mary 2 years from now, how would she wake up in the morning? What would she value? What would she create space for? What would she create time for? What does she say are her non negotiables? How can I really step into that version today? What are the choices that I need to make today that would be in alignment with my future self? Who is that person 2 years from now? What are they thinking about? What are they doing? Who are they friends with? What do they care about? And really taking the moment in the present to behave as though I were that person. It's like going ahead of time, behaving like that person and feeling like that person. One of the things that I love to do with my one-on-one clients is to help them experience the emotions of their future right now, like practicing that state of being right now, visualizing if I were already there, how would I feel? Can I feel that right now, even without anything in my external environment changing? Can I practice that feeling now? And what's beautiful is as you do that, you begin calling in that future to you, again, becoming consistent with your identity. You start making those choices. You start feeling differently. And the more time that you can spend as your future self, guess what? You become your future self. You step into your purpose as your future self. So I hope that that is food for thought to think about who you are and really answer that question from your future rather than answering it from your past. All right, y'all, I will see you soon.